Hi, folks. Zach Grant here. Today I'm going to talk about something that I'm probably not qualified to talk about, but I'm going to do it anyway because, uh, I just don't know when to shut my mouth. And I think it will be important as a part of this series on helping you to become the disability ministry people in your communities, churches, whatever. I think that if we didn't talk about this thing, then we'd be missing out. And so the thing that I feel like I'm not really qualified to talk about is boundaries. And I say that I'm not qualified to talk about it because I think when I started doing ministry with folks with disabilities as a 17 or 18-year-old kid, I walked into the lunchroom of a local high school and went to the table where kids with disabilities sit. And I saw a group of kids who people were saying no to a lot. And maybe not, very literally, like just in a table of people, and then around them were people wagging their fingers and saying no, no, no. But metaphorically, people were saying no to relationships with them, no to sitting with them at lunch, no to answering their phone calls, no to making space for them in their churches. And I, not knowing what to do, it seemed like the thing to do was to just start saying yes to them. Yes to giving them my phone number when they asked. Yes to, I don't know, being their friend, making space in my life for them, hanging out when I'd rather be doing schoolwork or hanging out with my other friends. I think that was the right thing to do. I think that whatever boundaries mean, they can't mean just efficiency or utilitarianism, making doing the best thing for the most amount of people. I think that boundaries within disability ministry means pushing on the boundaries that we have and being comfortable with being uncomfortable and saying yes to people. I still think that. I've looked out on just rooms full of teens and young adults with disabilities, and I've thought to myself, everyone in this group is somebody that a youth minister or a pastor would be stammering about boundaries and finding reasons to not include them because it's going to take more work, it's going to take more time, it's going to stretch me in ways that I don't want to be stretched. It's going to invade my spaces or my sensibilities in ways that I'm not comfortable with. And so boundaries can't mean that. I looked out on that same group of people and thought, boy, if you guys were students at the local college, if you were high school football players, there isn't a single church or youth group that wouldn't be clamoring to sit down and have a conversation with me about how do we get these guys integrated into our church. Boundaries can't mean that. But also, the gospel will sometimes look like folly to the world. And boundaries in disability ministry are going to look like leaving the 99 to go after the one, and that won't make sense. But not every folly that you participate in is necessarily the gospel. And I've certainly, in my time in ministry, have gotten into both sides of it, right? Folly of my own making and the folly of the gospel. Find some people that are going to help you think about why you're saying yes to the things that you're saying yes to, and why you're saying no to the things that you're saying no to. Also, some people that can say no to some things. That's what I need. Also, think about when your phone is on and when your phone is not on, or when you're available and when you're not available to take calls. There is always going to be some crisis brewing in ministry, and you cannot always be available for every crisis. You cannot consider yourself totally indispensable. You can't think that you can do it all. I think in some ways those yeses can be as much about pride and our own kind of misplaced sense of self-worth as it is about living out the gospel life. So think about when you're available, when you're not. Find people to support you and to help you ask good questions about your boundaries. I have rules set up in my life, and I also will at times break those rules to make space for crisis or the movement of the Spirit or whatever. I don't have a rule about making or breaking rules. I think it really has to be about a conversation between you and God and a community of people who love you and are concerned about your health and well-being, and who also can share your heart for a ministry that looks different, that looks inefficient, that looks sometimes like folly. Blessings on you.